guys, and this is Abigail from Zoomy Rabbits. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a video all about how to litter box train your rabbit. So this is something, a common question because you're wondering how to litter box train your rabbit, and I'm going to cover as much as possible in this video. So let's get right into the video. So the first thing is to spay or neuter your rabbit. Rabbits are very territorial animals. And they can poo and pee everywhere if they're being territorial over a territory or an item or their habitat, or maybe there's another rabbit around or something like that. They're trying to mark their territory. And when you get them spayed or neutered, that territorial behavior is going to go down a lot, and so therefore it will be much easier to litter box train. There are also many other reasons you should get your rabbit spayed and neutered, such as it can reduce different cancers in rabbits. Rabbits have a 60% chance of getting some type of cancer by the age of 3 if not spayed or neutered. Also lengthens their lifespan. Because it prevents many other sicknesses as well as cancers, like I just talked about. It can also help you bond two different rabbits because rabbits, it's very dangerous to bond rabbits who aren't spayed or neutered, or if just one is spayed or neutered and the other one isn't. It's just very dangerous if you don't spay or neuter your rabbit to bond them. So it's a lot easier and safer to bond rabbits when they are spayed and neutered. Also, it can help prevent unwanted litters. And yeah, so let's get on to some more things about litter box training your rabbit. Okay, so first I'm going to be talking about why rabbits have accidents. So, like I mentioned earlier, rabbits are very territorial animals, and they are not spayed and neutered. They can be very, territorial. So that's why it's very important to spay or neuter your rabbit. So most of the time, rabbits will have accidents because they're being territorial, or if they're already litter box trained. Sometimes if they're they will just be kind of lazy, or they will kind of miss it. If it's just a few inches away from the litter box, it's most likely that they kind of barely missed the litter box. And if they are already litter box trained, or if they're in a new territory. But if you notice, let's say you got a little baby rabbit, you brought it home, you started the litter box training process. And it was pretty much 100%, and then all of a sudden when it's around 4 or 5 months age, it just starts having accidents everywhere, and you're just why is my rabbit all of a sudden having accidents? They went from being 100% litter box trained to having accidents everywhere. And this is because around 4 or 5 months age, depending on the rabbit, they start getting very, very territorial, and so they'll have accidents everywhere. And so in this case, basically what I would recommend doing is, honestly, this isn't really something you're going to avoid. What I would do, if they are too young to be spayed or neutered, then I would just keep picking up the accidents, trying to continue with the litter box training process, and then just make sure to schedule an appointment with your rabbit vet to get them spayed or neutered. And because basically that's the only way you could fix this. So in this situation, just keep keep picking up the accidents, continue with the litter box training process, and then you can get them spayed and neutered when they're old enough, and that will fix that problem. And like I was just talking about, you can start on the litter box training process before they get spayed and neutered. This will help the process go quicker and easier for your rabbit. And so this is something I would recommend just because it's going to go quicker and easier. And keep in mind, they're not going to be 100% litter box trained before they get spayed or neutered, but they might be halfway or more than halfway, or maybe just a little bit more trained. But they're not going to be all the way, but they could be pretty close. And when they get spayed and neutered, that's going to help the litter box training process go very, it's not very quickly. It's going to depend on the rabbit, but it's going to help it go quicker and easier to train them to be litter box trained after they get spayed and neutered, to be 100% litter box trained. So next we're going to talk about how do I actually litter box train my rabbit. So I'm just going to be sharing a couple of tips. So the first tip is to pick up if they have an accident. So basically, if they were to poop outside the litter box, you would pick up the poop with a towel, tissue, or even just your hands, whatever you prefer, and put that in the litter box, because that's showing them that's where they go, not outside the litter box, inside the litter box, because they will see, where they went in the litter box, and that's where they're going to want to go. And then also, if they would pee outside the litter box, you're going to soak it up with a paper towel, tissue, whatever, and then put that in the litter box. And always make sure to deodorize the area where they had an accident, because they can smell where they went, and oftentimes if they smell where they went before, they will go there again. So make sure you're deodorizing the area. Yeah, another tip is to remove soft and absorbent surfaces such as blankets, padding, beds, things like that, until they are 100% litter box trained, because rabbits like to go on soft absorbent surfaces. And so if you have soft absorbent surfaces in their enclosure or corner, wherever kind of their space is, or in their room, their pen, wherever they live, then they're going to want to go there. So just remove all absorbent surfaces until they're litter box trained and 100% litter box trained. And then you can slowly add in a couple, see how they do. If they don't do so well, you can probably take them away and then try again once you think, they're a little bit more litter box trained, and slowly add them in more and more and see how they do with it. And then you can add in all the absorbent surfaces once they're 100% litter box trained. Another tip is to encourage them and associate the litter box with good vibes. So if they go into the litter box voluntarily, you're going to give them a treat or pet them or something like that. That's going to associate the litter box with good things. Another thing not to do is to never lift your rabbit into their litter box. Rabbits do not like to be picked up, so you want to try to pick them up as least as possible. And so, yeah, they don't like to be picked up. They don't really like to be held, even if they're calm during that service, because some rabbits do better than others. Some rabbits just absolutely freak out, and some rabbits just kind of stay still. But no matter their reaction, they still don't like it, even though they're calm. Inside, they don't like it. And so if you are picking them up and putting them in the litter box, it seems like a good idea to us, but it's really not to them, because picking them up is not something they like. And so that's going to associate litter box with bad things, because they're getting picked up into that, and they're not going to want to go in there if it's something that isn't associated with good things. So if they're associated with bad things in the litter box, they're not going to want to go in there. So just don't pick up your rabbit and put them in the litter box. And then also, I don't really know why you would do this, but never pick up your rabbit and put them out of the litter box. I don't know why you would do this, but I mean, just thought I would say this. If they're like already in the litter box, taking them out would show them, one, they're not supposed to be in there, and two, it would associate litter box with bad things because you're picking them up out of the litter box. So don't do that either. Yeah. So, next thing I'm going to be talking about is where your litter box should go, how you set up your litter box, and the size of the litter box. So, the litter box should put the litter box in where they are going, having accidents, and where they're going to the bathroom, because rabbits oftentimes they'll go to the bathroom in the same place over and over again. So if you're putting the litter box there, they're going to want to go in there most likely. If you're not really sure where your rabbit is going to the bathroom, or you just want a specific place, rabbits tend to go in corners. Sometimes they'll go somewhere else, but usually they like to go in corners. So a corner wherever you're, like a corner in your pen or your room or your house, wherever your rabbit is staying, put that in some type of corner in that area. The size of the litter box should be pretty big. It should be able for them to be to do a 360 turn with still at least a little bit of space around them. So I would probably recommend like a medium, large, extra large cat-sized litter box. No small corner litter boxes sold for rabbits, because those just aren't safe and they don't fit in there. And if they don't fit in the litter box, they're not gonna want to go there. So if you notice, rabbit isn't really, like, if you tried all these tips and your rabbit still isn't, using their litter box, then make sure your litter box is the right size. Even like a little 1 pound Northern Dwarf rabbit, which is my rabbit, wouldn't even fit in that little tiny corner litter box. They're really just those tiny corner litter boxes sold for rabbits and small animals just aren't big enough for a rabbit. So medium, large, extra large, cat-sized litter box is a good size for your rabbit. Another thing is, in my opinion, rabbits should not have covered litter boxes, hooded litter boxes, whatever you want to call it, because for a couple of reasons. One, rabbits should have 2 entrances in their hidey houses. So things like the tunnel haven or like the mini haven or any type of hidey house you have should have 2 entrances to it. And so a covered litter box doesn't have 2 entrances, it's 1 entrance. Also, because it's covered, it doesn't have as much ventilation, and rabbits' respiratory systems are so sensitive. And all that, all the smells are accumulating in there and getting trapped inside there. And then when they're going in there, they're breathing that in, and it's not good for the respiratory systems because it's getting very trapped inside of that, and there's not much ventilation. So rabbits, in my opinion, shouldn't have covered litter boxes. This is something you can kind of decide, but there are many, many reasons why you shouldn't use a covered litter box for rabbits. So this is definitely not something I would recommend, buying a covered litter box at all. But that's just my opinion. So how to set up a litter box. So rabbits should have some type of like potty pad or liner, whatever you want to use as liner, whether you want to use potty pads, but they can kind of be expensive, or you can use like a paper bag. Those just aren't super absorbent, but whatever type of liner you want to use, I use a potty pad and I kind of just fold it up, put it in my litter box. If you guys want like a video about this, then go comment down below and I would be happy to do one. But they need some sort of liner. This obviously isn't a necessity, but this is definitely something I would recommend just because there isn't as much residue at the bottom of the litter box. So yeah, the next thing you will need is litter. So I recommend some type of pelleted litter because that is the most absorbent. So I use pine litter from Small Pet Select, but you can choose what type of litter you want to use. I have a whole video about good and bad types of litter that you can go check out on my channel. So some type of pelleted litter is what I use, and something that's really absorbent. But whatever litter you want to use is great. Just make sure it's a safe type of litter. And then if you want, you can add like soft litter on top of the pelleted litter, or you can just use soft litter, or you can use both, or you can just use pelleted, or you can use, literally, there's so many options. You can just use soft, like bedding. You can use just pelleted. You can use soft bedding on top of the pelleted. Whatever you want, bedding you want to use is great. Just make sure it's safe, like I said. Next, you'll need hay. Now, hay can be provided in a hay bin above. Just make sure if you are using a hay bin that it is nice and big, so it stores a lot of hay, contains a lot of hay, and then it has nice big holes. Slats, like the little slats, aren't good for rabbits because they can't access the hay really easily. So something that is big and stores a lot of hay and also has nice big holes for them to get the hay out of is a great option. There's lots of different hay bins out there. Just, you know, do your own research because there's just so many. I could just say, oh, there's just this type that you can use, because there's so many other, great hay bins out there. So you can choose what one you like best. Just make sure it's nice and big and has nice big holes. Or you can put a pile of hay in the back of the litter box. If you would like that, if your rabbit prefers that, or if you don't want to buy a hay bin or whatever reason, then you can put the hay in the back of the litter box. Just if you do this option, there will be more hay waste because, they can dig it all up, and it is going to be more messy because it's in the litter box and they can kick it out and stuff. And there's going to be more hay waste, like I mentioned, just because they can spread it all around the litter box and then go pee or poo on it, and they won't want to eat that. So that's just something, to note. But whatever hay bin, or you can put a pile of hay in the back of the litter box, whatever you prefer. And yeah, if this video helped you out, go subscribe and share, and go comment down below for any video requests you have. And yeah, I will see you next week. Bye.